This week, we learned that something should not be uncovered when we discuss Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm Chad.
I'm Matt.
And this is episode 86 of We Used to Talk About This at Work. You right, Matt?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Good. Yeah, man, it feels like it's been longer than a week since we recorded. I know why, because on my end, but
yeah. And I'm happy, so happy you texted me and was like, "Hey, you're going to sleep. We're gonna be there at 8:30. Make sure we be there at 8:30." I was like, "Oh shit, this is the day we're doing it on Saturday and not Sunday." So I'm so happy you told me that, because I would have been thinking this whole time we about to do this tomorrow. So
that's fair. Like honestly, Matt, I joke about this, but I'm also serious. This is like a whole ass relationship, and like I'll admit it. I'm in the traditional wife mode in this, and I always have to remind you of shit.
it's okay, and I think that's how it should be. You take care of the house as far as editing and doing things of that nature. I'm out there, the face of this family, promoting this, making this money. I mean, I think that's the way it should roll.
Okay. I'm just saying I know you at this point, and I'm just like, here, I know I can nag sometimes, and that's not me shitting on women. I'm saying me, Chad. I can be a nagger sometimes. And so I'm just like lightly reminding you we're recording tomorrow. Well, today for you.
Right. And I appreciate that, because I was at a football game and I was like, oh shit, we doing this tonight? Because it took me we'll get into it. It took me multiple times to watch the movie topic. So I had to do it again. So I really appreciate the heads up, because I 100% thought that we were doing this Sunday. But yes, thank you.
No problem. So on the outline here, you wrote adult friends with benefits. And so my question to you is, are you in the quote unquote lifestyle now?
I would like to be. No, I was playing. No, I spoke before about having, meeting friends as an adult and everything. And one of the benefits that came through it was the family, the friends that we are cool with, they have a son.
This
they were
is
like,
the folks from Thanksgiving, right?
yes, correct. Yes, those folks.
Okay.
And their son, we play football. This is the last game of the season for football and everything. They did good, got a win and things and stuff like that. Shout out to little MJ. All right, we did baseball, now football. Next we about to do basketball. So he's doing good things. But yeah, back to the story. So yeah, their son asked, can Matthew come over or whatever? And I was like, well,
out or like a sleepover.
Well, first he said hang out or whatever, but I was like, that's up to your mother. I got to finish these two movies. I got 2 podcasts tonight, X, Y, Z. The wives got together. They're having a sleepover. So now my son is over there sleeping over with their son and their family. So I'm like, cool. So now I ain't got no kids at home. So it's just me and a wife now. And hasn't been like that.
And you doing this funky ass podcast with me? Oh,
exactly. Because I'm like, once this podcast over, it's adult time.
All right. Well, I understand now. Your wife is talking to me before we hit record. I'm like, damn, she got like her makeup on and stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? But I understand now. Y'all going out?
No, we about to role play at home.
Okay. I mean, all right.
You only get this time, very few. Once you have kids, if you're a parent, get other parent friends that has the kids around your same ages, so you can do some. Because you can't always rely on the mother, the grandmother, or whatever like that.
Right.
You got to be able to switch it out like that, so you can have your alone time.
So okay, so that's what you meant by of adult friends with benefits. Okay.
Right, because without them, the little guy would have been here and everything else like that. You know how
Trying to
that
be
is.
on
You
the
gotta
podcast, give his thoughts and stuff. And we're like, young man, young man. You weren't
right.
here
I
from
don't need
episode one, okay?
right. You wasn't shooting with me in the gym, so no.
I got you. So what is this? What is lookism?
So I came across an anime. What's today? Thursday, and um, thought it was a Japanese anime. It was about a I was gonna say frumpy, but that's not a right word. A chubby kid, um, and he's living high school. This high school world. Kid, short, fat kid, living in a world where everybody's not beautiful, but tall, strong,
Fit.
cute, whatever. Yes, and he tries to survive. But then when I started watching it, apparently it's a Korean anime where basically he falls asleep. The fat kid falls asleep, and when he falls asleep, a different body wakes up, and he controls that too. If that makes sense.
Oh, that reminds me of a it's an anime movie that I do want to watch at some point. It's one where these two people body swap, a boy and a girl body swap.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it started off by them like going to sleep. And as I'm slowly talking, I'm trying to look it up. So I just want to really talk about how my stalling tactics are like not good.
All right. Well, as you look this up, I'll continue with this story to where, so as when the fat kid falls asleep, the quote unquote beautiful kid wakes up. It's the same conscience that they both share the same conscience. So XY, he was getting bullied. The fat kid was getting bullied, so he got transferred to a new school, and so now he wakes up and he's in a beautiful person's body. So he goes to school, to this new school as this beautiful person, and things happen. Like he see other kids being bullied, so he helps defend them. But he's fit and strong, so he's able to do things. But then when he goes to sleep, the other kid, the fat kid, works at a convenience store. But it's pretty good. It's 8 episodes. Me and my son watched 6 episodes the first day, and then we watched the other
That's
two later on.
crazy.
Yeah, it's good. It's called Lookism on Netflix. It was pretty good. It's the first time I watched a Korean anime, but it
Really?
was good though. Yeah,
Why do you lean towards one over the other?
just for the fact that I'm in Japan, so I lean to Japanese, but it was on
Mm,
Japanese Netflix, so I watched it. So like I watched Korean dramas. This is the first time I watched a Korean anime because also Korean dramas are very popular in Japan.
why?
I talked to these women at work and I asked the same question, and they said that it's because it's more realistic as far as the people, to where like Japanese dramas, you gonna have this like beautiful person here, and that's how the story unfolds. With Korean dramas, it's more realistic, like this could really happen type of thing.
Okay, I get that. The anime is called Your Name. Have you heard of it? It's a movie.
I have not.
Um, I will read the description to you if I can find. Okay. Um, Your Name, bored of her life in the country, a girl wishes she could be a Tokyo boy in her next life. Suddenly, she begins to randomly swap bodies with a boy. Unsure of how to handle these new circumstances, the two must learn to live in each other's bodies while slowly getting to know one another.
Okay,
So maybe that'd be one of our January reviews.
exactly. A good anime.
A good old fashioned clean anime. Hopefully
Yes.
coherent, unlike that last time we did an anime.
What was the last anime?
The second episode where it
Oh,
was
yes,
that witch girl,
yes,
that fake
yes,
ass Kiki's delivery service.
exactly. Trash.
Oh, Matt, it's really early to get into your taglines there.
Exactly. And I'm about to switch it up this week.
Okay. Oh, I see. So what was the last thing you put on this outline?
I put legacy movies, but I'm not sure if that's the right word. What's the word for movies where they take an old movie and they recreate it, i.e., like Coming to America?
Well, that's a
What do you
sequel.
call that? Well, I'm saying, but like,
Oh,
is there a word for?
so yeah. This is from oh um a really large cut portion of an episode we did many months ago, where I went on a rant about legacy sequels because
Uh-huh.
this is when I heard that they were going to do the Santa Claus TV show, and I just went the fuck off. I think Carlin was there, but it's a legacy sequel where it's like so much time has passed between um installments, and so the
Uh-huh.
character's older, and it's kind of handed off to the next generation, sort of.
Right. Right. So last week I talked about how they're creating all these old movies into like horror movies, right?
Yeah, I mean
I,
that's not really a legacy sequel, but
I mean that's not a legacy. But then I read that how they're making a new Beverly Hills Cop, right?
yeah, fourth one, yeah, on for
Right.
Netflix.
So then I recently read that they're making a Rush Hour, like they just got the green light for Rush Hour 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought of an idea. I want to
Oh,
get your thoughts on it.
okay.
I want to see a crossover movie with Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, with Martin Lawrence and Bad Boys. Do a Bad Boys Rush Hour crossover movie.
Hmm, that would be interesting. Um, okay. So some Chinese guys are doing some bad stuff in Miami, and so Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker are down to investigate, and then they run into Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Something like that. I think that will be some good entertainment. Some good entertainment. But it was funny. I was reading the comments and they were like, when it was announced that the Rush Hour 4, they was like, well, if there's not racism in them, I don't want to watch it.
I'm gonna be
Because,
honest, I've never seen the third Rush Hour.
first one was that one. Second one was when they went to Hong Kong. Third time was,
Paris, I think, right?
oh, yeah. Paris is the one where he was like, Jackie Chan had a camera. He was like, oh, yeah, slowly when she was getting undressed. Oh, no, that was a good one, too. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
So it was good, too. But I mean, I'm here for it. But I like to see some crossover stuff. Why don't we see more of that? I guess for two different movies, do a crossover.
Well, a lot of the problems is like those two movies are two different studios.
These studios got to stop beefing and put this stuff together, man. I think that'll be a hit.
Everybody wants all the money. Nobody wants to share. Like, you remember how hard it was for Disney to get Sony to loan them Spider-Man?
Right, right.
So
You got to
that's the
think about
big
the.
problem.
I don't know if there's a thing where you be like, all right, we're going to do this. Everything going to be 50-50.
But then it's like that, like, yeah, you get Spider-Man with the MCU, that's gonna make some money. We don't know how well a Rush Hour 4 by itself would do.
Wait, a Rush Hour 4 meets a Bad Boys, a Rush Boys, Rush
Rush
Bad, no,
Bad
Bad
Rush.
Rush, Bad Hours. We'll workshop the name.
Yeah.
We'll workshop the name. That don't sound good, but we'll figure it out.
So I don't know. It's like Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life did really well in pre-pandemic land, right? Before
Mm-hmm,
everybody got really used to stuff going straight to streaming. And so
mm-hmm,
like if you came out like let's remove this Will Smith stuff. If you came out with a Bad Boys 4 now, 2 years later, maybe it wouldn't do as well. We
No,
don't
it
know.
wouldn't. No,
So,
it wouldn't.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think, like, okay, so with the same thing, would a Rush Hour 4 do great?
No, like just like you said, like we need that racism. It's like some of this stuff is like, why the heck did it take this long to come out? Like Bad Boys 3 got lucky, but genuinely, Bad Boys 3 should have came out like 8 years ago.
Right, right.
And so
I
like
agree. I agree.
like a Bad Boy, sorry, Rush Hour 4, like what, like 15, 16 years after the third one? Like, what are we doing here, guys?
I totally agree. But I feel like it's kind of like it'd be a not a Marvel effect. That's not the right word. But I feel like where if you put those together, it's kind. I guess it will be the Marvel effect, where if you combine these movies or if you did a collab with them, it'd be a more thing where like I want to see these people together.
Mhm.
And it's like the plot or whatever might not be the reason. It's like I just want to see how this shit plays out, so I'm gonna watch it.
I get that, but then it's gonna be like this feels sad because it's like this is old Jackie Chan. This isn't like Jackie Chan in his prime. This is Jackie Chan is currently 68 years old.
Hey, they all these motherfuckers old.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, I don't
Right,
want to see old Jackie Chan and old Chris Tucker doing stuff. I want to see them a little younger. Like, I sent you and Fran this article about Ice Cube where he was kind of complaining about how he can't make a fourth Friday movie.
right,
And I'm like, I don't want to see that now. Like,
right,
I wanted to see that like 15 years ago, and you actually get like young-ish Chris Tucker back. And I want to see what Smokey's doing because it's like Smokey's still been, a base head at like 50 something. It's not funny.
right. And two things. One thing I just read, I saw an article yesterday where he was talking about how New Line or whoever owns that movie wants him to pay for it, so he don't have rights to that, and then how they have a script. They had a script for it, but then Tiny Zeus Lester, John Witherspoon, like those people have died and everything. So, like he said that Friday 4 would have been him going back to the neighborhood and seeing the old characters, but certain people are dead, so it's not gonna
Yeah.
work. But I forgot my other point.
Is it about ownership?
Well, it's no, I forget my point. I know I forgot my other point.
Okay. I
Um,
mean, yeah, on paper, that sounds interesting, like Craig going back to the neighborhood, but it's like, I don't.
oh no, I remember my point.
Okay.
But also you have everything everywhere, every Michelle, right?
Mhm.
She's an older actress and she can still pull off these things.
Well, no,
That's what I was
no.
gonna bring up.
What more so what I'm getting at is like that's a new character. I don't want to see old versions of characters I've seen young in certain
Oh,
certain instances.
okay. Okay. I see what you're saying now. Cause I'm like, I was thinking like you meant like you don't see a old Jackie Chan out here doing things, but I'm like, yeah, she was out here still doing all of her things that she's known for, and that was a great movie.
Well,
Well, it was an interesting movie.
I gotta watch what I say because I'm really looking forward to Indiana Jones 5 with old ass Harrison Ford. But
Right. You're gonna be like, why is this old man trying to reprise his role?
as we talked about in the trailer talk, they using that de-aging technology during parts of it. So,
Right.
but I don't know, like I don't know. We'll see. I can't say I'll be in the theater to see Rush Hour 4 because I need to see the third one. And oh man, I don't want to revisit those movies. I want to have my good memories, my foggy memories of them. Cause like we can't rewatch those movies.
Rush Hour 1, from my memory, was fire. Rush Hour 2,
Man, Rush Hour 2 is fucking amazing.
Rush Hour 2 was with the ladies. I mean, when I say ladies, I mean when he goes to that
The massage parlor or something.
Yeah, massage parlor or
In
something
the
like that.
they were in those bathing suits, not bathing suits,
Right.
bathrobes.
Th- right. And then 3 was when they were yeah, okay. I mean, it's okay to enjoy old movies. Also noticing that this was wild for when if you notice some racism in it.
Sometimes it's a little hard to look past certain things.
Uh,
Like
I agree.
especially yeah, that's mostly what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying like, oh, this is a bad movie now. I was just like, I'm not gonna enjoy it as much as I would have some time ago.
Uh so switching subjects on this is that I did not watch The Office when it first aired.
Oh,
And I
I remember
right,
but we were still working together.
right. And I watched The Office like 3, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago for the first time. Those first 2 seasons are wild.
Yes.
They
Yes.
are wild. It's like, all right, it is kind of like a thing where some land and then some are like,
Yeah,
y'all was
this is
this is
on
on
regular
TV.
TV, right?
Right, right. Y'all was allowing this shit to fly. Okay, all right, I get it. I mean, I know America was different at this time, but like, yeah, the first couple of seasons of The Office is it's a trip. But then they
Yeah.
get their shit together later on.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. No. So yeah. Yeah, we'll really talk about some stuff when we get to this week's review. But did you have anything else in the legacy sequel arena?
Nah, but speaking of legacy, how's it going with you and your daughter?
Why are you doing this, man? Like I was like, hey, I'm just gonna I'm not even gonna try and do a smooth transition. I'm gonna pick this up and I'm just gonna hand it to you. Okay. Just like
Hey, that's what I did. Once you said legacy, I was like, I got the ball and I'm running with it.
you over here doing tricks, juggling it and shit. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Yeah, man. So my daughter's been kind of sick this week. And so as a result, I've been kind of sick this week. And so I was really worried, like, am I gonna be able to record this week? Because I was not doing well.
See, I don't like the sickness of Chad when you're sick. I like the sickness of Chad when you got that deep voice. That's
Yeah.
the Chad I like. That kind of sick.
Welcome. We
Yeah,
usually talk about this at work, aka
exactly.
the quiet
The
storm.
quiet storm. See, that's it. When you were sick for those episodes, I was like, oh, we sound fire right now.
Our numbers went up, but no.
Right,
So I
exactly.
really wasn't feeling super great, but I don't know, like I was trying to make myself better, so I was trying like TikTok remedies. So first off, I got somebody also suggested that I try a neti pot. Have you done that before?
What's a neti pot?
If I wasn't attached to wires right now, I get it. But it kind of looks like a genie's lamp with the one I bought. And you put purified water in it and also like this powdery solution. It's like medicine in it. And you stand over the sink and you pour it in your nose and it
Oh,
comes out. It flushes out what's in your nostrils.
oh yeah, we have a thing like that too. But it's not. Yeah,
It's you do you have the bottle one?
it's Do we still have it in the kitchen? But yeah, it's a thing to where you pour it in there and it comes out and it flushes
Mm-hmm.
everything out. Yeah.
So like my thing was like mine was coming out clear. So I was like, I feel sick, but it's not coming out. And so then I tried some TikTok remedies where it was like cut up some onion and put some honey on it and let it sit for several hours. And then you're supposed to like take like 2 teaspoons every couple hours. And then also like if you're having like nose stuff, you're supposed to like squirt it in your nose.
So with the
And
onion thing, you're supposed to chop it up
mhm.
and
Chop
then
it up,
so
put
just
it in a container, make sure it has a top, and then put honey on it. And then, like, basically, and then you drain it out, and then you're drinking the honey onion juice. No, yeah, you're taking a teaspoon of the honey onion juice, and if you're having nose issues, you squirt some in your nose, and that shit actually worked.
Really?
Now, to be fair, I was also trying, pharmaceutical medicines too, but
So now you don't know which one worked.
I'm just gonna say it's the onion one because it really stunk up the house. But yeah, so my daughter, she just had a cough, like nothing too extreme, but it was enough to not go to toddler basketball this week. And also, I don't think I talked about that ever, like how it's been, but toddler basketball is fucking terrible, man.
What do you
So
mean? What do you mean?
so like I've sent you videos and stuff of it. But like what I imagined it was when what Samantha and I imagined it was when she told me that she wanted to sign our daughter up for it was like, okay, you got little kids around my daughter's age and they got basketballs and they got like little hoops and they just running around and shit. I just thought it was gonna be a free for all. But my daughter's the youngest kid in this thing. They got like 4 and 5 year olds. I think the cap is 5 years old. And so it's like actual structure. So like the coach is coming out asking them to sit on the red line and like, okay, when I say green light, you can bounce the ball. When I say red light, you stop and put the ball on your head and hold it until I say red light and all this shit. And I'm like, my daughter's 2. Like she understands these words you're saying, but she's not going to do them. Like I'm like, all
Right,
right, we
right.
need to sit down. And she like, oh, okay. So I'm not gonna sit down. Don't pull me down, Dad. Fuck you. I'm gonna get up and start running. And I'm like, baby, you need to fucking stop. And so like the first Tyler basketball was drills. Every other one, they actually had them do scrimmage games. And I'm like, no, no, no. So she they over her got the ball. They over her running. Like it's not super structured. Like nobody like dribbling and there's traveling and stuff. But
Mhm.
like my girl, she's like out there. She wants to like do dancing and spin around and shit. And I'm like, we gotta run down there. Like you like running. Why are you not running? And it's like it was a whole mess. It was a whole mess. Like
Mm.
I it's not even one of those situations where I can say at least she's having fun because I don't even fucking know, man. Like,
I don't even know she enjoyed this shit.
like it's at one point, like in the basketball area, there's like a giant window in the courts where you can look off to the swimming area, which
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if that's super appropriate because it's like why y'all got it so these sweaty ass dudes, mostly dudes playing basketball, looking over at these young ladies in their swimsuits and shit. But my daughter loves water. So like the kids, like I think I sent you a match the clip of like the kids, they over here playing their little game and stuff. Game supposed to be in, and she over here standing by the window looking at the swimmers because she loves water. And I'm like, all this money and you want to look at swimmers.
Hey, you got in the wrong sport. She's letting you know, Daddy, I want to do this. Why you got me over here?
She's a regular Ariel Little Mermaid. I was gonna make a
Chloe.
huggable hipster reference, but I can't remember specifically what she said
Oh,
about her
are
name.
you are you do you think you're going to be a competitive? Are you competitive in general? I should guess. I don't know.
Um, I guess not really. I mean, I went to one of my nephew's soccer games, and I was just like, if you got the ball, shoot it, but I don't care about the score. And
Oh, okay.
with my daughter, the only thing with that is I was just like, just go down the court with your team. Like this is like not real. Like nobody's keeping score. Can you keep pace with everybody?
So say if it was a real game and she was, we'll say 5 years later, she's in some competitive stuff. Do you still think you'd be like not nonchalant, but like, do you think you'd be like, okay, it's whatever, or do you think you'd be really into it?
I'd probably be really into it because I'd have to constantly be there.
Mhm.
Like with my nephew, like that's the first of his games I'd ever been to, and he'd been playing soccer for like a year. So it's like I'm just going here, just to support and have fun. But like, his parents and the other parents is like, yelling instructions, and I'm like, if you gotta see this shit, I assume because you're in a similar boat, if you gotta go to this shit every week, I feel like you would get more invested.
Of course, because if you like, I'm there at every fucking practice.
Hmm.
I'm there at every single game to where I'm seeing this play out. Like, also, I'm emotional in good ways or bad ways to where, like I told you before, if it's American Idol and somebody's singing bad, I get embarrassed at my house for that person.
Right.
So when I see people doing bad in front of people, I get embarrassed. So when it's my son or something like that, he's not good or anything, I get embarrassed. But when then like baseball, I don't really do baseball, so I can only my general stuff. Shout out to Steve. I needed Steve here to teach him baseball. But football, I'm all in it. I'm trying to teach him stuff, and it's like when he does not do good, I'm yelling on the sidelines and everything else like that. I'm into it, but it's just it's hard. Like I got to pull myself back or whatever. But it's a tricky situation. But I can see like in the future, whatever sport or thing that she's into, that yeah, like you said, once you start taking her practice, seeing everything, you'll be involved in it and you'll be excited for it.
Yeah. Like no, like I like even though I find this very frustrating, and it's like since she's so little, like I'm doing some of the stuff with her. And so
Mhm.
I'm tired after these practices too. Like I'm not upset that we signed her up for it. And
I mean, also, you might make some friends with some other parents.
I man, this little girl. So one of at her daycare, one of the teachers' kids is in that daycare too. And so she signed her son up for it. And so her son's doing stuff, and my daughter's like, "Oh yeah, I know your son. Hey, hi, whatever." And then she over here hugging the teacher and shit. And I'm like, if you don't get back on this fucking court.
Stay focused.
All right. See, that's your problem, all right? You don't
Right.
want this. Um, but yeah, no, I agree with you. So also I did a little reading this week. I read some of the comic books. 'Cause, I do that from time to time.
Right. Because I saw the outline and I was like, I have no idea what this is. I was like, is this a TV show? Do I need to watch this? I was like, nah, I ain't gonna spoil nothing. I was gonna hear straight from you what you said.
Man, if you want to, I read. They're digital, so if you want to read them, I can send them to you. So are you familiar with a Batman comic book called Batman the Killing Joke?
No, I've wait, is that the one with the camera on it? Where
Yeah, yeah,
Joker has
with
a
Joker
camera?
holding the camera.
Not
Yeah,
not the not the comic book, but I watched the movie of that one.
yeah, yeah. I mean, excuse me, it's the animated version of the comic.
Yeah.
But Joker's whole thesis statement with that was that one bad day can turn any man into the Joker, right? Well, sorry, any person. So the premise behind this DC is releasing this line of comic books called Batman One Bad Day, and then like a villain. So Riddler, Two-Face, the Penguin, and Mr. Freeze have each been a book so far. And at the end of the month, they're going to come out with the Catwoman one. And so
Hmm.
they're all a little bit different. They all have like different like writers and artists on them. And so the Riddler one, some of these I'm gonna spoil, some of these I'm gonna be loosey goosey. But the Riddler one opened with a bang because like I didn't know what to expect. Like I thought that in the Joker one, Joker's like doing like a scheme, but it also has flashbacks to like what his quote unquote origin was. And it's hard
Hmm.
to say with the Joker if it's actually real. So it opens up with this guy. He's calling and texting his wife. and they're having a conversation because topical, their daughter does not want to go to soccer practice, and she's saying that she's sick. And he's telling his wife, he's like, she's not sick. She just gets nervous out there. It's nerves. She's gonna be upset if she doesn't go. And like I'm not saying we need to make her go, but we need to at least talk to her. So he's like, I'm leaving work early right now. And he's like a commuter. So like he works in Gotham City. And so he's like, normally I'll take the train home, but that's gonna take like, a little bit over an hour. I'm gonna get an Uber and I'll be home a little earlier. And so like they never show the man's face, and you just see like text messages and like the word bubbles from like when he's actually speaking to his wife. And
Mm-hmm.
so at least for me, I'm thinking that this is the Riddler, and like maybe this is building up to his like, his new origin story in this continuity. And so he gets outside and he's talking on the phone to his wife, and you don't really see his face. And he's like, the car be here in 3 minutes. I love you guys. I see you. We'll talk about this. And then you turn the page and he gets shot in the head. And you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
And the Riddler did that. And so throughout the whole book, Batman is trying to figure out, why did Riddler do this random killing and not leave any riddles? And
Right.
so this book is trying to illustrate like the Riddler is like, he may not be like physically imposing, but like his intellect makes him super fucking dangerous. Like there's a part where they're transferring the Riddler to like a different part of the prison, and he starts talking to the guards and letting them know. He's like, oh hey, how's it going, Frank? So you still live at blah 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 address with your wife blah blah, and your son and daughter blah 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah, and y'all still got that photo of so and so on the mantle, and he starts like lightly threatening all the guards. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have escaped prison. I know where y'all live. I've been inside y'all houses. And so he starts like fucking with people like that. And so like basically by the end of it, he ends up blackmailing the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
And to a point where he's like, no one's gonna touch me, because like I randomly kill motherfuckers now and I don't have to leave riddles. And so like it was really good. Not gonna really get into like how it ends, but it was quite good. The Two-Face one, not so much. Well, the only thing I really liked about the Two-Face one is something that I wish. I guess the only way we could do this if we get a new Batman show. It really like showcase like how useful the Bat family is, and not so much like his 50 million. Well, yes, his 50 million Robins, but like he has like there's multiple Batgirls, because Barbara Gordon was shot, and so she's Oracle. And so like there's other Batgirls, there's Batwomen. And so they have to do like the classic like Bruce Wayne was invited to this party, and he has a hot date, but it's like one of the new Robins, not Robins, one of the new Batgirls, because like they're at this event because it's a stakeout. And so like Batman has like his people in different parts. Like one of the Batgirls, she's his date. And like he has another person in the Bat family like working as a waiter at the party. And so
Mm-hmm.
everybody's in their little jobs, like surveying the area and shit. So I thought that was kind of neat. That's the best thing I think
So
about that book.
I'm not familiar, but like in my mind, all of his Batgirls and Robins are always young. So he's going on a date with a young person as his Batwoman,
Well, it's not a real
Batgirl.
date. It's not a real date. Like the people think that that's his date, but
Right, but
they're working.
I mean, I guess what I'm saying, they're of age though. This person, the
Yeah, yeah,
Batwoman,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Batgirl.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because in my mind, they're kids, like Robin or whatever, like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like Batman. Well, I mean, they don't let him age really, 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 but like he's like 40.
Right. Okay.
Well, this version of Batman. And so like she's like 22 or some shit like that. So it's not okay, but it's not wrong.
Right.
But also, it's also playing out the part of like Bruce Wayne, right? Playboy. So he's always got
Right.
some young thing on his arm. So like that's the best thing
Yeah.
I could say about that the Two-Face one, because like once you like when the person's like, hey, this is the situation, like duh. I know who's behind this. Like
Hmm.
what are we doing? The Penguin one has been my favorite. That one, it started off like maybe a year and a half before the issue started. Um, there was a turf war, and somebody called Umbrella Man like seized control of all of Penguin's like Penguin was basically the king of the city, and like there was a coup, and this Umbrella Man like took it all from him. And so like at the start of the well, see that yeah, I did that too. I was like, Umbrella Man. I didn't
Right.
look
That's what
I didn't look
I
it
was about to
up.
look this up.
I don't think he's a real guy, because like through flashbacks, you learn that Umbrella Man was the guy that held his umbrella. Cause Penguin. So like when they're out and stuff, like like Mr. Bentley for Diddy held the
You're right,
umbrella.
right, right.
Son, don't touch him. I don't think that he's like an actual guy, but I don't know.
Oh
So
no,
at
he
this
is.
uh
I just typed in Umbrella Man DC. He is a person
is he black?
formerly with.
What does it say?
I don't know why that made me laugh. You asking that? Hold on. I haven't seen his face yet. They're just listing everything about him.
Okay.
Hold on. I gotta get a picture. Let's see images. No, they show me Penguin. They're showing me actually fucking umbrellas. Okay, hold up. Let me go to something. Umbrella Man. No, he's white. He's white.
So in this book, he's black.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I know why he's black. The writer is John Ridley, and he writes comics, but he also does like screenplays. Like he wrote 12 Years a Slave, and he's black, so that's probably why he made him black.
Okay.
Um, this one was my favorite because like the book starts where Penguin has $5 and a gun with a one bullet, and like by
Mm-hmm.
the end of it he like gets his empire back. But like a lot of people are like, fuck you, dude, like I helped you rise to power, and like when you got to power you was like you cast me aside for your little rich friends trying to play
Mm-hmm.
legitimate and all this stuff. And so like he has to have a whole helping of humble pie, and it was a really good book.
Okay.
And the last one was the Mr. Freeze one. And I didn't care for this one at all. Basically, like everything you know about Mr. Freeze, it touches on that, but it just tweaks it in not a good way. Like this one set takes place when Dick Grayson was like a kid still, like Kid Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we're gonna try. Robin's like, I really want to try and like rehabilitate Victor Freeze instead of like let's stop trying to beat the shit out of him. And so like they find him like in the middle of a caper, and they're like, hey man, like we're not here to fight. We rented some space at a laboratory for you to help you try and cure your wife. And as you go along, you find out that he was like an abusive husband, not like physically abusive, but like mentally abusive on his
Mm-hmm.
wife. And like he didn't like her going out and stuff. And not saying that she was cheating on him, but he just didn't like her having a life outside of him. And like when she was sick, this is in flashback. And when she was sick, she was like, hey, just let me die with dignity. Like, I don't I don't want to prolong shit. Like I have, she had a living will and everything, but like he wouldn't listen to it. He wouldn't let her friends see her in the hospital. He froze her without her consent. And it's just like she just wanted to die with a little bit of dignity, and he just would not let her have that. And so it like really showed him to be a different kind of bad guy, if you get what I'm
I
saying.
was no, I get. I'm like, it's not rape. That's not the right word. But I'm like, what is like if you're like, hey, I have this disease. I just want to die peacefully, and then your spouse is like, no, I'm going to freeze you so I can save you. that's like something against your will to where that
Right.
should be illegal.
Right. I agree. I agree. But
Right,
like that's the
right,
problem. That's like the fucked up thing about it, because like that's his spouse, right? And it's like she has a living will, but like she probably didn't have the strength to like get everything processed properly. And so he
right,
wasn't gonna do it. And so like they have to go off of what the spouse is saying. So like that's super fucked up.
right. Exactly. If you're like, hey, well, like even on some like we'll make it more modern to where you're like, hey, um, I want to if something happens and you can't revive me, pull the plug on me.
Do not resuscitate or something.
Yeah, do not resuscitate. And then the spouse like, nah, fuck that. We about to keep you long as possible. But yeah, that's a tricky situation.
Yeah. So I didn't like that one as much. I guess maybe it got too real.
Right, right.
But the penguin one was the best one, and the Catwoman comes on like a week or two. So this is a good little line. Like uh, this is bigger than this is like maybe like a triple issue. Like normally a comic book has like 20 to 30 pages, and this one has like almost 90.
Repeat the name of it for the people listening so they can check it out.
So it's Batman One Bad Day and then villain. So Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler, the Two-Face, the Penguin, and Mr. Freeze. I highly recommend the Penguin one.
Okay.
All right. We are breezing on in. We know how to talk, man. We are
I know. We here. We here.
we don't need a guess. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. It's funny because I was like, yeah, me and Chad doing a podcast. She's like, who's a guest? I was like, nah, it's gonna be me and Chad. She's like, nah, who's a guest? I was like, nah, it's gonna be me and Chad. She's like, are you sure? I was like, it's already laid out. It's gonna happen.
Right. No, it's
They
like
know we get it.
we don't. I mean, we have good chemistry. It's like the we have if we didn't have this, we wouldn't be doing this show. It's just we
Right.
would prefer not to do this because a lot of times we talk a lot during the week, and so
Right.
we don't really want to rehash what we had going on this week.
Right.
All right, let's hop on to our review. This week we discuss Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
For nearly 3,000 years, man has searched for the lost Ark of the Covenant.
The Bible speaks of the Ark leveling mountains and laying waste to entire regions. Not something to be taken lightly. No one knows its secrets.
Jones, do you realize what the Ark is? It's a transmitter. It's a radio for speaking to God.
Archaeological professor Indiana Jones ventures to seize a biblical artifact known as the Ark of the Covenant. While doing so, he puts up a fight against Rene, a rival archaeologist, and a troop of Nazis. Matt, what did you think of this movie? Oh, let's pause. Have you seen this movie before?
Nope.
Okay.
I've never seen I've never seen a complete Indiana Jones except for the newest one with Shia LaBeouf. The only movie I've seen clips, like I've seen like the
The
big ball
Boulder.
rolling
Yeah.
or like certain stuff like that, but I've never seen a whole movie.
Okay. So what did you think of this movie now that you've seen the whole thing?
Lesson time, kids. Japanese. They have a word. It's called gomi. Gomi means trash or garbage. So, with that being said, let me repeat that again. In Japanese, the word gomi means trash, garbage, or rubbish. So now, what this movie is? This movie is. I am not going to say gomi. If gomi is here, meaning a 10, this is a 7, maybe an 8. It's not a good movie.
Okay.
I did not enjoy this movie at all.
Okay.
I get it. I can see the appeal. When this came out in the early 80s, or I don't know when it came out, but I can see the appeal of it at the time. But me watching this right now, You know the best thing about this movie is
The
the
ending.
theme song.
Oh,
No, the theme song. The,
okay.
the theme song. But it's not good.
Okay.
It's not good. I did not like it. There's certain situations where I appreciate certain situations in there where, at one point where the guy's waving his sword and then Andy just shoots him. Okay, I get that. But it's kind of like where, okay, so when Andy gets on the horse and he traces off of the truck with the
The yeah.
artifact in it, the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants the box, right?
Yes.
Why is he still chasing the villain? Why don't you leave with the truck? You have the truck, just leave with the artifact in it.
Oh, he's trying to knock them off the road so that
Right,
they
he's
wouldn't
doing.
chase him.
But I'm just saying, you have what you want. Leave now, and everything else like that.
Right, but
And
they
then,
could turn around and follow. And what if they have like a radio on the car to be like, all right, we're going this way, and meet us in the town so that we can get that ass.
But they already found him anyway, so it didn't really. But I like it. That's what I was thinking. And then the whole point, I know, different time. The special effects wasn't where it needed to be at. I didn't get it. Okay, explain this to me. What happened when they opened it up and all that shit came out and he was like, "Don't look." Two things. How did he know not to look? Also, what happened with that situation? I didn't understand that at all.
So that's like a straight connection to like heaven and shit, and like we aren't supposed to see that shit, and so like they are being punished for looking at the eye of God.
How did he know that?
So that's a thing that's come up not recently, but as people have gotten very analytical about movies, that's actually, so he learned that not to look at it from a deleted scene. Like it was originally in the movie, but they deleted the scene that explains it.
Oh, okay. I would that would have made more sense, but it's just I didn't care for this movie at all. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not a bad movie, but it's not nothing that would be like that Indiana Jones. That's a good movie. You should go check it out.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
So I don't know.
It wasn't good.
Do you want to watch the other ones then? We don't have to
do
this.
No, I do, because the one when they're on the roller coaster with the Asian kid.
That's the next one. Because I really want to know what your son thinks of that one.
All right, well, I'll watch it with him then. But like also that one, and then I know there's another one where like they got to pick a cup or something, and one person drinks a cup or something like that. Like I've seen clips, so I'm gonna keep going because I talked to like other guys who watched it at the football game, and they were like, they get better each time. So this one, not Gomi, but close to it.
Oh my. Almost trash. Okay. So I'm a fan of these movies. Watching it, like it's been a minute since I've seen the first three. Probably over 10 years. And so like a lot of stuff has come out that I couldn't unthink. Like Big Bang there was a big thing on Big Bang Theory where they were talking about how if Indiana Jones did not interact, like if the US government did not go to Indiana Jones to try and intercept the Ark, the movie still would have played out. Basically, if not even worse for the Nazis, because like the Nazis were digging in the wrong place. So like if he didn't interfere, either it would have they never would have found it, or it took them longer to find it. And Renee still would have wanted to do that ritual, and they all still would have died. So like he didn't all he did was just kill some people. Like he had no effect on this.
Right. Like you say that you want to right.
And so there's that. And then also
wait, Big Bang pointed that out?
Yes.
Do I need to watch Big Bang? I heard that's like for smart people.
It's a lot of episodes, and no, it's no, it's not. It's in my
Are you
opinion
saying are you saying no, it's not for smart people, or no, I shouldn't watch it?
both.
Okay, okay.
It's like it's trying to be like, oh, hey, we understand geek culture, but it's actually low key making fun of geek culture.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But there's also some stuff where I can't unthink it because it's like, they actually wrote this like in the 70s, right? And there was a lot of drugs and stuff and a lot of wild ideas. And so think back to that conversation Indiana was having with Marion, where she was like, you haven't talked to my father in over 10 years. You had a falling out because of me. What we did back then was wrong. I was young. I was a child. Think about that. And think about how old Marion is in this movie, or how old she probably is in this movie. And then
In her
subtract
20s.
10 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like there's that stuff where I'm like, I don't like that. But also this is like the 30s and you over here marrying like a 17-year-old and shit. Not Indiana
Right.
Jones, but like it was a somewhat different time. But I'm like, I don't like that.
Mm. Yes.
But yeah, like it's still a really fun movie to me. I like you said, like the whole man doing all this shit, and I'm just gonna shoot you because it's like I don't have time for this. Like, stop. Like the whole like sweeping adventure, like we don't make movies like this anymore. And that's something I truly miss. Like, I say we got that again in the 90s with The Mummy, right? Like that was like it was a time when we weren't making Star Wars movies anymore. We weren't making Indiana Jones movies. So people were making movies kind of like it. Like we got our Independence Days. And there was something else that was sort of like Star Wars. And then we got our like The Mummy, which is basically like this is this generation's Indiana Jones, like just fun movies, practical effects. We're going to these real places. We're having adventures in the sand and shit. You don't know who to trust. It's a fun time. So like I like that aspect of it, I don't know. There's just something about Harrison Ford. Like in real life, he is a fucking asshole, but he's also one of those like charming assholes. And that comes off so clearly in film. Like whether
he's a dick. I mean, I don't know if that's the right word. Asshole. He's an asshole to her.
Yes.
To it, where it's like it's weird because all right, he's injured, they escape everything, they're on the ship. And then the weird part is where like he's like checking himself in the mirror, she flips the mirror down and he does some weird yell, and then she's like, wait, are you okay? Like he didn't really yell. So he's yelling at her about how much everything hurts. And then she's like, well, what does it hurt? And they do the whole kissing thing. And it's like, you were just yelling at her fucking 2 seconds ago. And all of a sudden, okay, now we can kiss and everything. Like, and then, the whole part about him not freeing her earlier and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, he's an asshole to her a lot through this movie.
Yes. Oh, okay. I thought you had something else.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, I was like, he needs to. I was thinking of when I was saying like I was trying to make a connection between this situation and The Fugitive, but I couldn't make a connection. I couldn't make a connection.
No, like real talk. Harrison Ford has never played a character in his life. All these characters are Harrison Ford,
right? Because even in The Fugitive, he was a dick in The Fugitive too.
Have you seen What Lies Beneath?
I have not.
We need to actually watch. There's a lot of really good Harrison Ford movies. That movie, spoiler, he is a fucking villain in that movie. And it's just like he is like he's like a I think he's like a professor or something, and his wife is Michelle Pfeiffer, and she like goes missing and shit. And it's like Avi, he fucking killed his wife. And it's just like he is such a fucking asshole in that movie, but it is so good. Harrison Ford knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah,
Because that is Harrison Ford.
Right. We should definitely do this movie. But yeah, like that's how it was. He was like, but yeah. I guess, maybe, being a dick and being handsome works at these times during
these times. That shit works now.
Well, that's true. And that is true. You can do both.
Yes. Why not have both?
Right.
But no, it's a solid movie. I really enjoyed it. Good refresher. There was just some stuff where I'm like, I don't know about all that. But
I got worried because when was this movie came
81.
out? 81. Okay. Oh, okay. I got worried when they got to the ship and he was black.
Oh yeah.
I was like this. The captain was black. I was like, shit. What are they gonna do with this?
Like
but
this brother about to betray all them for some money and a white woman.
All right. I was like, let's see how this folds. But nah, it nothing crazy happened with him.
Yeah,
so
nothing
I was like,
out of pocket.
Right. I was like, they're gonna have this guy be like turn on them or something like that. I was like, right, but nah, it was okay.
What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes was on this movie?
I'm gonna assume high. Indiana Jones. Let's go with a 78, 79.
So I've not seen this one since we've done the show. The tomato meter and the audience score are the exact same, 96%.
Get out of here. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's not that good. It's not that good.
Maybe you just had to be there, Matt.
I was there. I watched, but I'm saying.
I mean,
all these reviews are from 81.
Well, no,
no.
I mean,
but I'm saying like this is not a good movie. This is not. If it was like an 80, all right, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Nostalgia. People from like, I've seen this as a kid. It's not that good.
I mean, hey, I'm not arguing with you. Like, I don't like E.T. And motherfuckers will stab you for saying shit like that.
I haven't seen all of E.T., so I cannot confirm nor deny if E.T. is Gomi or not. Actually, I should probably watch that.
So like my what I'm getting at is some of this stuff is like you need to have seen it when you were younger. Like I've seen these movies when I was younger. So like I have
exactly. I 100% is Star Wars because you know how I feel about Star Wars. Star Wars is garbage to me.
Right.
But I think it's a lot of that nostalgia back then. If anybody right now watched the first 3, 4 Star Wars, taking it like say if they remade Star Wars, the first 3 with today's technology and everything else like that, right. Those first 3 will still be trash. Well, that's not a good.
But here's the thing though. So just jumping ahead to a future review that we're gonna do. The third Indiana Jones movie came out in 1989, and the fourth one, I believe, came out in 2007 or 8. And motherfuckers was not happy about that shit. Cause like
that's a Shia LaBeouf one, right?
Yeah,
that's a good one though.
Well, no, I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I'm saying the reception overall. Let me rephrase this.
Because they want to hold on to the old thing. They want the nostalgia. Right. Like, I want to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a Star Wars fan. How were people feeling when they did the episodes, all those new prequels. Stuff and the TV shows and things like that?
When episode 1 came out, people was losing their shit. They was like, oh my fucking God, Star Wars is back. But then that was that initial, right? But then as time went on, they was like, nah, fuck those prequels. Like, of our generation. But the funny thing is, like, it's all in cycles. So, like, people that actually grew up with the prequels, now they're older, and now the majority of people say that those movies are good. When I don't agree with that. I'm not saying that they're 100% trash. Like, there are parts, But like as a whole, nah, fuck those prequels. But it's kids that grew up with that shit that'll fucking stab you if you talk wrong about it.
Right.
So it's
I
it's
agree.
all perspective, you know.
Right.
All right. Indiana Jones Bullwhip was sold in December of 1999 at auction for how much money? A, $18,000, B, $29,000, C, $35,000, or D, $43,000.
$43,000.
Oh, how'd you know, Matt?
Because people will pay the highest amount of money for something.
That's fair. That's fair. And then just a little trivia dump. When Brody first goes to Indy's house to discuss the mission, Jones is dressed the way he is because he is entertaining a young woman in his bedroom. The script originally planned to show her before moving to the next scene to give Indy a more worldly persona, like James Bond. However, her appearance was cut as Steven Spielberg thought that being a playboy did not fit Indy's character. This also explains why several of the co-eds fawn over Jones and why one wrote "I love you" on her eyelids. Freeze framing during the Well of Souls scene, you can notice a golden pillar with a tiny engraving of R2-D2 and C3PO from Star Wars. They are also on the wall behind Indy when they approach the Ark. During filming in Tanzania, nearly everyone in the cast got sick except Steven Spielberg. It is thought that he avoided illness by eating only the food that he brought with him. Several hundred cans of SpaghettiOs. Because you gotta remember, like he was like young back then, so you know, some 20,
SpaghettiOs.
some
I haven't
20
ate
year old 20 something.
SpaghettiOs and over like 15 years. The
Right,
last time I
right,
ate
right.
SpaghettiOs.
Also, the truck sequence took 5 weeks to film for just 6 minutes of screen time.
And that was go me. Like all their action sequence took a long time to develop. Like Indy fought that dude by the helicopter
Yes,
for a long
yes.
time.
A lot longer than he needed to. I agree with that.
Exactly. Like
I'm like,
all their
what
action
is-
sequence took right. It took so long for everything to develop.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing here, gang?
Right.
But all right, we'll be back with this in like 2 months to do Temple of Doom. Our cousin Josh said he wanted to be on that one, so we'll see if we can make that materialize. And I really want to get your son's opinion on it. But thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusetotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work. And follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Used to Talk Pod. Come back next week when we try something a little different from our usual format for our Christmas episode.
And like always, I don't know if this is a good episode. I don't know if it's a bad episode, but whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.